Hey everyone, welcome back to STEEPCAST episode 7. We've got a jam-packed episode for you this week, so let's slide right into the news.
Typically, we start off the news section with news pertaining to the video game, but this week we have a little blip of news that pertains to you, the listener of STEEPCAST. Our friends over at Ubisoft Annecy generously gave us a few Steep X Games Gold Edition passes to give away to you guys in the next few weeks. Stay tuned for the main topic of this video where we'll talk about this in a little more detail.
It is also the final week of Season 15 Steep World Tour. The finals will take place February 21st through 23rd, and you have 20 tries to get your best score and reach the top 3 players. The challenge will be on Silent Valley in the Alps.
More news on the giveaway is coming up soon, but first, we have some business to attend to.
I think I know what you're talking about, Nick.
That's right, Mitch. It's time for the Reddit Roundup! Every week for that intro, I've been getting further and further away from the microphone. One of these weeks, I'm going to be standing outside screaming into my apartment for that intro.
I don't doubt that, because you're the guy who would shout out a random name at an NHL game loud enough for me to hear it across the arena.
Wow, I don't know how you remember that. That was like 10 years ago. But yeah, there is a video online of a Pittsburgh Penguins game where during the national anthem, you can just hear me scream for Mitch. It's priceless.
Anyways, our first submission this week comes from user subreddit_username, and it is entitled Saw This Dam and I Couldn't Resist. He's posted a couple of videos on Reddit this week of him jumping off different dams, but this one, he grinds down one of the ridges, throws in a few flips, continues on the face of the dam, and then cruises through the snow.
In our next video, we have McJensen5 just loving this spot right now. Coming down the mountain, hitting a tiny little lip, going through the wires on the cell tower, and then cut to slow-mo. What is that? Oh, that's just the most perfect little nose press that I've ever seen. Flawless execution, professional editing skills. Thank you, McJensen5.
We also have a clip from Bernie Sandals 5 called Oh Boy She Groovin'. In this one, we see what happens when you use the replay mode and your character gets stuck, and she's just breaking it down in the sky. You know what this reminds me of, Nick?
What's that?
I would love to turn this into a Shooting Stars meme, but that would get copyright on YouTube. So instead, let's try out some of the other free music we can use on YouTube.
Free YouTube music hits different. We have a picture submission from user What's Wiser Name of them kissing the abandoned bobsled pillar. Yeah, the picture's good and all, but shout out to the test dummy outfit. I don't think I've ever seen anyone playing with that skin out in the wild.
Finally, we have a picture called An Interesting Title by Ali35814000615. I feel like I just gave out a phone number there. But the picture just has an awesome verticality element to it and shows off what a beautiful massive that Japan is.
As always, thanks again to the Steep Redditors who allowed us to feature their posts this week.
So without further ado, let's jump into the main topic and let's talk about those keys.
This week's main topic is going to be a little different than our usual because we received a giant question, comment, whatever you want to call it, from our man Chris Wan in a new segment we would like to call
Questions with Chris.
Alright, let's get into it.
So the first half of his question was an interesting concept where he had his girlfriend play Steep without knowing too much about it or listening to the Steepcast at all, and then seeing what her opinion was on the game after about 8 hours of playing. Her first point was that the world feels a little too empty, that there's lots of challenges, but there's areas that still don't have anything in them, And she would kind of want a feature for users to create and submit challenges, get feedback, tweak, and publish them to the world, where they can then be rated by enough players. And that's something that Steep kind of has, where you can create your own challenges, but it doesn't get published to the masses. It only goes to people on your friends list, and you can only have one of those challenges at a time.
Right, so the mechanic is there, the idea is present, but it is still just a little bit clunky. I would like to see a little more on the creative side in the future. You and I have talked about this before, that we are creators. We love getting into games and doing our own thing, not just following the game's rules or the game's playthrough. So having a little bit more freedom on the mountain to erect jumps, place rails, any of that stuff would be useful for the people like us who want to get into the game and create something of their own to show off to the world. I mean, just think about the Reddit submissions if that was the fact.
Yeah, people would come up with some wild stuff on the mountain. She also talked about challenges and said she feels like the game is very elitist with some of them, and that it can be frustrating to not even finish some challenges when other people are crushing them. That's a shout out to Bone Crusher and his insane wingsuit talents. And she would prefer to have like an alternate route to get the bronze medal, which would only be presented to a player after multiple failures on that challenge.
I've never heard it framed like this, that the game is very elitist with some of their challenges, but I can relate. I mean, you've seen it in the videos and you're probably seeing it right now. I am in no way, shape, or form a competitive rider in this game. I just love the game for the experience it gives you with being on the mountain and being able to explore. I would also love for some of these challenges to be a little bit watered down. Instead of progressing with the top 5% of players that have been on this game since the very beginning, throw a bone to the people that are just coming on. Give us some easier challenges. And if you are going to keep the challenges as difficult as they are, that would be kind of nice to have a little fail route to take after 10 tries or whatever.
Another point of hers is that the game feels too much like a simulator, and she would just want to drop down anywhere, collect some points in a truly free freestyle mode, going with any sport, anytime, and maybe having a more arcade-like point system that lets players gain experience in that way as well. And that would be kind of cool. You do get a tiny bit of experience from what I remember just from skiing, but you know, just leveling up by hitting massive jumps out on the mountain instead of having to play specific challenges would be cool too.
Right, and they could implement that in a system that would not give you as many points if it wasn't in a challenge. You know, say you hit one jump outside of a challenge and you get 50 points, but if you hit that same jump and you have activated a challenge, it might give you 125. So they give you the option to gain points and experience while just exploring the mountain, but they try to get you into the challenges because that's where the big money is made. I like that idea. I like a lot of these ideas. And lastly, she adds that she feels like there is too little incentive to play with other people in the game as it is right now today. She's looking for something like a choreography challenge where people would follow a different path using something like a paraglider or a wingsuit, but also having a friend on a ski or a snowboard. This would require the players to be able to collide with their group members and a mechanic to gain points for performing similar tricks one after the other or really close to each other. And again, Mitch, you and I have done this in the game by ourselves just for fun. I don't think there's a single person who wouldn't enjoy playing with one friend on a wingsuit and one friend on a snowboard, and you have to ride a similar route, but you cross and intersect your paths at certain points, and you have to, either make it look cool for points, get a near miss, or just collide and absolutely ruin both of your runs.
That would lead to some awesome stunt videos out there too. Not that people aren't making them right now, but if that was more ingrained in the game, that would just be awesome.
Absolutely. And now, Chris has some of his questions to add to the mix.
Chris's first question says that you guys talked about Steep 2, and do you think Steep 1 has hit its full potential and the end of its lifetime, or should the devs give the game more time and stuff to do? Personally, I think if they continue to make Steep content, it should go towards a second game, only because it's been 3 years that it's been out at this point. There have been numerous DLCs that have been released, and I feel like just the player base right now is locked in they're not going to get too many more sales compared to if they came out with a brand new game that they could do the whole advertising run for again. I think that would draw in a lot more people.
The mountain as it stands today is getting a wee bit cluttered, and I think that they are running out of space in the game as it stands right now to add new things that are revolutionary and will change the gameplay entirely. However, they could just publish a brand new Massive with features that are non-existent in the game that we see right now. You put out a DLC like The Road to the Olympics that offers new physics and new ways to look at the game and new ways to experience the game, and it feels like a breath of fresh air is pushed right back into the game. So, although we have reached a 3-year point on the game and things kind of seem bleak for Steep 1 in the terms of progression, I still think that they have a trick or two up their sleeves before they just abandon ship and jump into a completely new title.
This kind of leads into his next question, where he says discuss free-to-play but paid DLC, or a paid game but free DLC. Which one would gain more people? Ubisoft has done this with a couple different games, especially The Division, where they call it games as a service, where you buy the game, but then they continuously add DLC for the next couple years.
Kind of feels like a GTA model, doesn't it?
It does, and I feel like the right direction with Steep would be a paid game, but then some free content additions down the road. With my experience, free-to-play games, everyone jumps on, but then if there isn't a ton of content, they go to the next free-to-play game.
Oh, you're exactly right. But then you look at a game like I just mentioned, GTA, where people paid to play the game, and then the DLCs just keep rolling. They're still rolling out with new things to do in that game, and those servers are continuously populated. So I really think that paying for the game up front and then receiving DLCs on the back end is the way to go. It's extra gifts and extra value that you are giving to the players that have already committed to your game.
I do like what they did with some of the additions in Steep in the later years, where they added it as a DLC that you could pay for, or if you had enough Steep credits, you could buy it that way as well. So there is the opportunity for microtransactions and continuing to make some money later on in the game, but with Steep, it's just not going to be a pay-to-win game, so I don't see it being too much of an issue.
Very well said. Chris's final question has to do with the soundtracks in the game. He wants to know if we would like a radio with a DJ that's specific to every region to spice up the soundtrack. Yeah, I think this would be really cool. This would be a cool little nod to the different regions, and it would raise the immersion value of the game and of that mountain. It would give you a soundtrack specific to that area that makes you feel just even that more like you're there.
I'm thinking of Ubisoft's Wildlands specifically, where you're driving around the map and the radio DJ is talking about the events in the game, and what you have done to change it then comes through the radio. So it just kind of tied you back into the game while you were driving around endlessly.
Yeah, and having live updates on the radio would be really cool. Like when the Valentine's Day specials come out, you would have the guy on the radio talking about the Valentine's Day specials and what to be looking out for in the store and on the mountain. Although this would be a huge undertaking for voice actors, Steep, you know 2 voice actors who have free time and have microphones available.
You're listening to UBFM,
the home of Mountain Rock. Big old wink right there. And finally, we saved the best for last. Mitch, you want to tee this one up?
I will. He said that we are both Yinzers, which in fact we are, and he asked if we can have a Yinzer alert, which was stolen from Urinating Tree on YouTube. I highly recommend his videos. He does sports commentary in the most hilarious fashion, but he was asking if we have a Yinzer moment for the STEEPCAST, where if something happens where we go full Yinzer. And when was the last time in real life and in Steep where we went full Yinzer?
Well, hey, let me tell you something. Yinzer mode's never turned off, all right?
Every time we go down a south side and have a couple drinks, it just slips right out.
Yeah, it's hard not to go full Yinzer when you're walking out of Permane Brothers on Carson Street, staring up at the skyline of the most beautiful city sitting on 3 rivers.
And don't let nobody tell you that Stiller's gear ain't appropriate for church.
Jesus loves Mike Tomlin. Jesus loves Ben Roethlisberger, and Jesus still loves Bill Carr.
Amen.
And if you don't agree, you can get right out of town.
And remember, as our neighbor Chris says, stay away from the yellow snow. This ain't lemon-flavored snow.
Oh, wait. Hold on. The main topic can't be over yet. We still have keys to give away.
I am so glad you remembered that because we would have just mentioned it and moved on.
So Chris mentioned that we were both Yinzers. And yes, we are. We both grew up in the Pittsburgh area, not even a mile away from each other. And video games really were the glue holding our friendship together at the very start of it. We both found an interest in PS4 and both took that and ran with it. And one of the things that Mitch did when I was just brand new into the video game world was send me all of these beta keys and all of these free demo keys that I had no idea even existed. But receiving a free game pass from one of your friends is just the ultimate gift for a gamer friend. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there listening to this now who have had that experience where you turn on your console or you turn on your computer and your friend has sent you a demo or a beta or even a full game pass to play with them in that game. I mean, it's just a wonderful feeling and it's a wonderful sense of community. So
we are giving away 8 copies of Steep X Games Gold Edition. So that includes the full game and the X Games DLC. Nick, tell them how to win.
We want you guys to head on over to Twitter, record a quick video submission as to why your best friend should get an X Games key, and we will pick some winners and give away some keys in the upcoming weeks.
The video can be you talking to the camera, or it can just be you talking over some Steep gameplay, or get creative. You can also enter by leaving a comment on this YouTube video as to why you would like to give a copy of Steep to your friend. We have 8 keys to give away from 4 different versions: PlayStation 4 North America Store, PlayStation 4 European Store, Xbox Worldwide, or PC Worldwide. So we will pick 2 winners for each version, 1 video submission and 1 comment submission. Make sure to specify what type of code you want to give away in your submission. Please make your submissions by the end of February 28th, and you can submit either on Twitter with a video at Nick or Mitch #SteepCast, or you can leave your comment down below. Winners will be announced in that following video the first week of March.
All right, let's dig into some weekly challenges here. We have our video submission from the Sleds Challenge, and Bone Crusher comes out on top with 2 video submissions. Let's check those out right now.
He did a great job showing off what is possible when you put your mind to the sled. We also had some photo submissions for the paragliding competition. We had 2 gorgeous sunset photos from QBYNOIA, which I believe is Chris Wan.
Chris Wan!
Great paragliding shots. We also got one from Steep Clips Germany, who likes to submit every week using that GoPro paraglider, which is my personal favorite.
Wir lieben dich, vielen Dank.
What he said.
And we mentioned it at the end of the main topic, but the video challenge for this week, the category is Friends. The 4 winners for that will get a copy of Steep X Games Gold Edition to give away to one of their closest friends. Mitch, it's time to wind this video down, but first, we have some questions that need some answers.
The first question that needs an answer comes from Blackbird AXB4, and he asked, how many hours have you played Steep? Now, I previously replied to this on YouTube. I was estimating around 400. When I looked on Ubisoft Club, it only said 110 hours played, but I know I have played some offline as well, and I've played some on the PC version, and that doesn't count the hours we have spent making Steep content, which I like to include.
Yeah, 400 would be a good estimate for all of the content time that we have spent with the game, but I would say combined we're probably around 250 to 300 hours, I would have to guess, in the game, with offline mode included.
I know just during the beta that I gave you a code for, we spent probably 30 hours over those 3 days that weekend playing Steep.
Oh, at least. You said that you had one more comment that we needed to read on the video, but you didn't tell me what it was, and you told me not to go to last week's video to read that. What do you have for me?
Yeah, so this comment popped up in my notification while we were recording this episode. It's from It's Just Austin, and he said, if I were to submit something crazy, like, I don't know, a rap song completely based on steep
What?
and ski/snowboard tricks,
What?
how likely would it be that you listen to it?
Yo, we'll make a music video for you. Are you kidding me? Send those beats over, my man. Austin, we're not playing around here. Yes, send it.
That thing would be the theme song to every episode.
We need this video. My excitement is through the roof right now. I am hyped to hear a song about Steep. Absolutely 110%. You will be on this channel. Please, please, please send us some music.
I am extremely excited if this actually happens, so please do not let us down and actually do a rap song video completely based on Steep.
Oh my god, that's how we get to end this week?
Yeah, we have a ton of stuff to look forward to from this episode between the Steep rap and the giveaway that we are doing.
Man, lucky episode number 7, huh? This has been a wild ride.
We do have some more exciting news in the coming weeks for you guys, so make sure to hit us up with your questions, comments, and submissions everywhere you can find us between Twitter and Reddit.
As always, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mitch. Why don't you ever let me say my name?
Sorry, bud. But we'll see you guys on the slopes.